Good morning. I'm Mia Noren, and I'm the Director of Religious Education here at First Unitarian Church. It's Easter. If I asked you to think of one thing that symbolizes this holiday for you, it may very well be an Easter egg. Easter is a religious holiday for Christians that celebrates the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Many other cultures in the Northern Hemisphere also celebrate this time following the vernal equinox, the start of spring, as a time of creation and renewal. And the egg is a perfect symbol of the miracles we see everywhere around us. Let's talk eggs. Eggs are a universal symbol of fertility and rebirth. The practice of decorating eggshells is quite ancient. The first decorated shells we modern humans know about are ostrich eggs, found in Africa and dated at 60,000 years old. Ostrich eggs are very tough, and these ancient eggs were likely used to store water, as hunter-gatherers in the Kalahari Desert still do today. Eggs were symbolic of death and rebirth in pre-dynastic Egypt and Mesopotamia. Pre-dynastic means the time before recorded history, generally from 6,000 to 3,150 BCE, before the Common Era. These decorated ostrich eggs and representations of ostrich eggs in gold and silver were commonly placed in ancient Sumerian and Egyptian graves. The roasted white egg on the Jewish Passover plate symbolizes the sacrifices made at the temple and both mourning and the cycle of life. For Christians, and especially at Easter time, eggs symbolize the empty tomb of Jesus from which he was resurrected. The egg is dormant and yet contains a new life sealed within. Many Eastern Orthodox Christians stain their Easter eggs red, symbolizing the blood of Christ, shed at the time of his crucifixion, as these eggs from Greece, Russia, and Serbia show. It's thought this custom began in early Christian Mesopotamia and traveled throughout Persia, spreading to Greece, Russia, and many other Eastern European countries. During medieval times, starting sometime in the 13th century in Western Europe, people started decorating boiled eggs. The eggs had to be boiled because the church forbade eating the eggs laid during Holy Week, and they had to be preserved. The decorated eggs then became an important part of the Easter meal and a popular medieval Eastertime game, the egg dance. In Egypt, Christians and Muslims both decorate eggs for the national holiday Sham al-Nassim, a non-religious festival marking the start of spring that can be traced back at least 4,500 years. Third Dynasty Egyptians called it Shimu, meaning renewal of life. The Arabic name for the holiday translates to inhaling the breeze. From ancient times till the present, Egyptians celebrate this holiday with salted fish, spring onions, and eggs, which symbolize rebirth and renewal. Painted eggs are a feature of the Persian holiday Nowruz, which marks the spring equinox and the Persian New Year. This 3,000-year-old tradition celebrates rebirth and the link between humans and nature. It's observed in Iran, Afghanistan, the Kurdish parts of Iraq, Turkey, and Syria, and throughout Central Asia. Persians of all faiths celebrate this holiday, despite the efforts of some regimes to stamp it out as pagan. The painted eggs symbolize life, renewal, and rebirth, and are displayed on the table along with other symbolic foods and objects. This tradition is known to be at least 2,500 years old. In China, it's a tradition to hold a red egg and ginger party for a baby's first birthday. Red eggs are also given as gifts to a bride and groom. These days, Sometimes people give red eggs to friends and family to celebrate their own birthday. In Chinese culture, too, eggs symbolize birth or a new start, and the color red means joy and happiness. Most of us are familiar with pisanki, intricately decorated eggs from Ukraine and other Central and Eastern European countries. Ancient Slavic people in this area worshipped a sun god, and birds were the only creatures able to get near to him. People couldn't catch the birds, but they could collect the eggs, and eggs were part of their rite of spring festivals, representing miraculous rebirth at the end of winter. With the official acceptance of Christianity in the year 988, the symbolism of the egg was changed to represent the rebirth of man, and through that tradition was adapted to play a role in the new religion. The meaning of hundreds of motifs evolved, and so we still see designs that are ancient today. Many of the old symbols were adapted to represent Christ's resurrection. Many of our springtime traditions predate the Christian celebration of Easter, and you can see that in the ways we celebrate are now a mashup of practices from several cultures and religions that have evolved over centuries. But almost all of them still bear traces of their original intent to honor the miracle of resurrection and rebirth. I hope you've enjoyed learning about the many ways that eggs connect us to those traditions. You've learned a lot about Easter eggs, but there is still a lot more to learn out there. For instance, the history of chocolate eggs starts in France in 1725.